Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time zone it is wherever you in the world. It is your Lore Saviour, and today we are talking about combat within Vampire the Masquerade and of course the other World of Darkness games, because it's rather well known that it's a bit shit really, a bit clunky, a bit janky, and honestly some of the most crunch-filled bullshit found within the World of Darkness, which is so bizarre given how roleplay focused and streamlined a lot of the features are. Then you get down to the combat, its attempts to make it nitty-gritty, just sort of does away with all of it, where you'll find that a lot of World of Darkness games masters, especially those of Vampire the Masquerade, just don't really bother, because it doesn't really feed on the themes all that well. But of course, sometimes might makes right, and you just got to get your PCs to do a little bunchy-wanchy. So, I have been running games of the World of Darkness for about 6 years now, and I've done bits of combat here and there. And whenever I've done it, I have made them really successful and made my players feel like absolutely base poggers, warlords sort of shit. So I'm going to give you some tips how to streamline combat so you can have lots of fun, doing less bookkeeping and making your players feel that they're doing stuff without doing a load of fucking arithmetic. So, first things first, we're going to completely rework how initiative works. Because, and I've always found this a bit baffling with V20 and presumably some of the older editions of Vampire. I don't exactly remember how some of it works on the top of my head at the moment. But all the roles within the World of Darkness is two sets of numbers pulled together, represented by a bunch of D10, right? So like, to dodge it's Dex plus Athletics, roll the D10 that equals to all of those, then add up the sixes for the most part. Sometimes in a roll like that you might want to add in a fucking background as well, so very rarely it's three numbers, right? But with rolling initiative, what you do, you take the total sum of two numbers, and then you roll a D10 and add that on top of that, which whenever I've done that with people, no matter how fucking experienced they are, it just causes fucking confusion across the board. And initiative isn't always a very realistic thing, especially when you introduce the level of chance of dice. Like, your players have spent a long time trying to plan this ambush attack on a bunch of enemies, and then you all roll the dice and it just so happens that they all move first. Like, that's just a bit unfair really, and that's just going to cause a bit of fucking heartache. So, I've got a few suggestions of this. The first thing is that you remove initiative altogether, which is actually what 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade does really fucking well. You see, that is a good example of combat without initiative. If those pigeons wanted to drop on me, they would have fucking done it as well. It makes sense to whoever initiated the attack as the one that moves first. And then, if you've got things like Vampire with Celerity, or Werewolves with Rage that like trying to move faster, you put those people at the top of the list, and then determine who moves first if you've got any ties with who's like with a dice roll or whatever. You find little ways to make that work. You could also do what Merkborg does, and actually a lot of OSR stuff does now these days, which is to roll a singular die. This band of numbers, it has the players move first. This band of numbers makes the enemies move first, or odds and evens. It just makes it really fucking simple about who moves first, and then you decide the narrative from there. As we're talking about powers a little bit within that last point, if your characters or players or whatever are fighting against a bunch of mortals, which, let's be honest, it's going to be a lot of the time, don't bother with the health levels, because players are going to be using celerity and potence and all the other supernatural tools at their disposal to deal as much power as possible. And if they survive like fucking 4 dots of potence, or like in the 5th edition term, like a really powerful potence power, that's just going to make the whole experience feel a little cheap. Similar comments obviously carry over if you're dealing with ghouls that don't have any dots of fortitude. And I also think this applies to some vampires as well, because they don't all have fortitude, and some are much weaker than others. Obviously, if you're going up against the fucking Primogen, that's not going to apply here, but at that point you may as well stat things out or have a decent enough understanding of their skill set that they have, that you can just wing things on a moment if you don't want to like flesh out every single character in your chronicle. Now, to that end, what I would recommend doing, if your player is in combat and they roll a load of high successes or a load of criticals, then I would suggest fucking having them just 1 KO the opponent, which makes things feel very dramatic, and it makes that like critical success really mean something. All those high successes mean something. I once ran a V20 one-shot where everybody got into combat in the Succubus Club in Chicago, and everybody was just popping up crit after crit after crit. So my very well thought out planned Sabbat attack ended in minutes really, because everyone was doing so well, but it made the players feel really powerful because they were able to counteract this attack fucking beautifully. And yeah, it wasn't what I planned at all, but it was not really about me at the end of the day. It's about making the players feel powerful and important and feel that they did something. And sure, I had NPCs that were doing things amongst all of this, but they were like very powerful elders and influential figures within Chicago. But it's all about the players at the end of the day, making them feel that their actions mean something. So something like that is just a really simple way just to make players feel really powerful. But I know there's going to be a handful of you who are not going to like this, and that's absolutely fine. Some of you may want to play it by the books and include the various different health levels and all the rest of it and do the number crunching, which I have to say, I find rather enjoyable, like working how much damage things are done and all the pooling stuff for that. But it can really make things drag, and I've got a very simple solution for you for that as well. We're going to be treating damage in World of Darkness games exactly the same, but all we're going to be doing is removing bashing damage, which leaves us with lethal and aggravated damage if you're sticking to the old editions of World of Darkness games. Now, of course, V5 and the other 5th edition lines actually do just have a superficial and an aggravated damage, because let's be completely honest here. Bashing damage, for the most part, is absolutely fucking pointless. If you're playing a vampire, that can heal that shit off pretty fucking quickly, and a werewolf where you're fucking regaining their health back every fucking turn. Bashing damage doesn't mean much. Also, a punch to the face can be just as deadly as a bullet to the face, especially if you're a vampire with a load of potents, or a werewolf in its fucking Krynos form, you know. That shit is going to cause skulls and brain matter to cave in. And it really is not needed. It's like a weird, shield to the health proper, because things only start to get a bit serious when you're taking lethal and aggravated damage, which is just a bit silly. Like, bashing damage is like the fucking shield mana thing that you pick up in Battle Royale games to protect your proper health. And that's how I kind of feel about it, to be honest. And on top of all the other bits of number crunching that you have to do, it's just another step that we don't need to deal with. So combat becomes a lot more deadly because you're dealing with the health bars that actually mean something, all through just removing bashing damage. And there you have it. Combat in World of Darkness games and Vampire the Masquerade and all the rest of it, made simple, fun, engaging and dynamic, so your players can feel absolutely badasses, and it requires honestly very little work from you. Now, this is obviously going to need some tweaking for your own games, scenarios and your own tables and all the rest of it, so by all means then break and use these tools however you wish. So that's it. How do you run combat in World of Darkness games and Vampire the Masquerade? Let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to take some ideas from you, and I'm sure everybody else is going to appreciate some ideas as well. Let's just start a conversation and see if we can have a funny John time with our World of Darkness combat scenarios. Whilst you're down there, check out the various books in the description below, where if you purchase them with those links, I get some of the money back because I'm an affiliate from Drive4RPG, and it allows me to do awesome cool shit like this for you, and also to run awesome games for you as well, because I know some of you have been asking me to do that lately, and I'd really like to do that, but it all requires your financial support. But if you can't do that, that's absolutely fine. I know times are hard of all of us and all the rest of it, so if you can, if you can't, that's also fine. But what you should definitely do regardless is give this video a thumbs up, like this video, subscribe to the Lore Bonite channel, and share this video with any and everyone who loves what I do, and I'll see you on the next upload, wherever that may well be for you. Until next time, farewell!